In this video, I'm going to be showing you the 3 secrets of the simulation. This is the truth about reality that you may not know until now, and this will forever change your life. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 secrets of the simulation, understanding first off that we do live in a form of simulation. Now when I say that, it comes from more than even just that of a literal thing. It's a metaphor, but it's an understanding in the totality of who we are. That's what's important to understand here. And when you see a movie like the movie The Matrix, for example, where there is this matrix, which is this programmed way of thinking, and then someone breaking out of the matrix and being able to still go back in the matrix and have all these abilities, it's a metaphor for what happens in life as well when it comes to having an autopilot mind, a programmed way of thinking. And most people are doing the same things every day, thinking the same thoughts every day, feeling the same emotions every day, therefore creating the same things over and over and over again. Now, what we are finding out more and more is how highly probable it is that we do live in a form of simulation. Now, this doesn't need to be a scary thing. This doesn't need to be like we live in some little computer box somewhere. It has to do with understanding that we are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. And when we come into this reality, we totally forget who we are. There's a purpose behind that. And the part that's to understand with this, that makes it easier to understand, is understanding our senses. We interpret reality through the 5 senses. And with the 5 senses that we have, we are able to interpret vibration. That's what we experience. We experience that of reality through the 5 senses. Our 5 senses are interpreters of vibration, and we can only perceive that which we are the vibration of. And a lot of times it'll have to do with our belief systems as well. Now, when it comes to the secrets of the simulation, it has to do with understanding that, first off, there's more to life than our little ego avatars. This is an ego avatar, we could say. We're all eternal spiritual beings dreaming that we are our avatars. We may grow up, go through certain life situations, and then believe that those things that happen to us is who we are. Many people are living in their past as well. And the key to this whole entire process is awareness, because when we become aware of all of these things, we can then disengage from the autopilot mind, and then we can then be how we prefer. So the simulation is something that it's also something that we're already close to. Like, think of this. We already have technology that you would put on, and you would not know the difference between whether it was real or not real. If you're in it for a couple minutes, it begins to feel so real that you don't know the difference. And I've done that before just with the Oculus. I don't know if it's the Oculus, but it was the PlayStation 3, or not 3, PlayStation whatever, I don't even know. But a year or two ago, I put on this headset, and I actually felt like I was there, and I actually got vertigo from looking over the edge of something. It was actually in water, which is kind of ironic, because in water you wouldn't necessarily fall down to the bottom of the ocean. But I was looking down, and I got that sense, that feeling. And it's because the brain doesn't know the difference. And when you look around, and you're able to see all these things, it's pretty trippy. And imagine this. We're at the very beginning, early stages of the VR technology. And imagine in 5-10 years, they're able to integrate that some way to where you really don't know the difference. Well, what's to say that that's not already happening? What's to say we aren't already in a form of simulation, that our spirit exists, and then we project ourselves here through the simulation itself? You see, Elon Musk himself said that the chances that this is the baseline reality, that what we experience is the baseline reality, he says the probability of that is less than 0.1%. Which then makes us think, what would we have to know to come to that kind of conclusion? Well, in this video, what I'm going to share with you are the 3 secrets of the simulation so that you can understand also how to hack that which you want to experience, because the simulation works in such a way to where there are different probability factors. There's cause and effect. What you do, there's a certain probability outcome as to what can happen. And based on what you do, based on your state of being, that determines and increases probability or decreases probability. So intention is one of the most powerful tools that you have in the simulation itself. Now, the reason we come into this simulation in general is to learn. We have to forget that we are eternal spiritual beings in order to have the experience of remembering who we are and going through different levels. Think of it in a way like a school. You have to pass second grade before you go to third grade. You have to pass eighth grade before you go to ninth grade. It's the same way in reality itself in the simulation. We go through certain lessons, we learn certain things, we take with us the experience, and we move on to the next level. Now, when it comes to understanding the simulation dynamics, an important part to understand is these different probabilities. So the first secret has to do with understanding that reality is very similar to the TV stations. For example, if you are on channel 37 and you want to perceive of channel 39, you do not have to change channel 37 at all. You don't change channel 37. Channel 37 exists whether you are perceiving of it or not. And what you can then do is then use your remote control and change the channel, push the button and change it to channel 39. And when you change it to channel 39, you then pick up on the channel, the frequencies of that channel, then you can perceive of it. But 37 still exists in this moment. In the same way, there are an infinite number of potentialities that exist. The thing that most people beat themselves up about is they're trying to change the reality they're in. You cannot change the reality you're in. The key is moving and shifting and choosing a new one. You see, there's less resistance there. But the key to also changing your channel is looking at your state of being. How do you feel? Because if you're trying to change your channel from a sad one to a happy one, you have to match the frequency of the happy one. So you have to set the intention, you have to work on yourself, you have to integrate shadow aspects, integrate the past, integrate the things so that then you transform it and then you move to the higher channel. But you see, this makes reality so much easier for us to experience because what we can start to do is we can start to just match the frequency of the channel we want now. Now, how do we do that? Well, what we do is we give ourselves permission to feel the emotions in the ideal reality we want. If you imagine yourself right now, imagine yourself doing exactly what you love to be doing in your life. Imagine what you'd be doing. Imagine how you'd be feeling. Imagine what you'd be how you'd be carrying yourself, and pay attention to that reality. And what you could do is you could start to embody the frequency of that now, which means the emotions, the thought patterns, the actions. You can even do it. Action is a form of frequency. I'd say action is one of the most powerful ways in physical reality you can change the channel that you're tuned to. Some people don't like to hear that because they want to know that it could just be about thinking it. Maybe it could be, but from what I've experienced in my own life is the action for me is what bridged me from one reality to another. But it wasn't taking the action to get to that reality. It was taking action for action's sake. Does that make sense? We normally need reasons for us to take action. Reasons. I'm taking action because then it'll get me here. If you take action just because you're passionate about it, you take action for an end in itself, you're then in a higher level vibration. You're then taking action from a much more powerful place. So the secret in the simulation is for you to tune to the frequency of the channel you want, and then you will experience it eventually. There may be a little bit of a buffer of time. It may not be instantaneous, but you can experience it. And if you trust the process, you move forward like that, then that is what will help you. Now, the second secret of the simulation is a little bit darker, but it's actually very positive because we're becoming aware of our true power now. The way that it's worked in the past is there's been certain people that have run the show in a way that have kept us within a certain frequency band. You see, there's an infinite number of potentials that exist that we could all experience, but we have this thing called collective consciousness. If you control the information in the collective consciousness and you push their senses into a little box and you say, this is what you can experience, and you believe that, then you will only experience a reality that's within that box that you have been led to believe is all there is. Well, that's in a way what's happened, is our focus has been pushed into a little firewall of experience. And us saying, oh, this is what's real. Normally it's the lower three chakras, the lower vibrational states of emotion and consciousness. Keep people in fear. They're not going to really ask about how to ascend their consciousness. They're just trying to survive. If you keep people believing and being afraid of certain things existing and the way reality really is, then you keep people resisting those ideas and keep them in the little bubble that they're in. You see, this has to do with media. This has to do with the information that we're given. The more we become aware of this, the more we start to take our power back. The key, though, is to not resist it, to not be angry at the people that do it. Just be aware of it, but then choose your focus, choose your state, or choose not to engage with it. Don't engage with the media. The media is a way within the simulation of keeping people in a certain frequency band, within a certain set of consciousness. But if you don't choose to watch it, if you choose to watch something else or not to watch anything, just to be, then you'll find that you start to unplug yourself from the matrix itself. So when you start to unplug yourself from the matrix is when your life really begins to change, and you do that through observation. You do that by transcending the ego. We live our whole life thinking this is who we are, when this is just a little aspect. But the more we're able to observe it is the more we're able to take our power back. Now, the third secret of the simulation has to do with us knowing that, first off, we are never alone, and that this avatar experience is something that we came to enjoy, but at the same time to be aware of and to not identify with. If you understand, so we can only perceive of certain frequencies. We have been trained to see only what is real, but there is both physical and non-physical energy. Many of us have been trained to not see non-physical energy. Well, an empowering part of this simulation is that we all have spiritual guides. These spiritual guides may be other aspects of us in higher dimensional states of consciousness. They may be people or souls that we've known in the past. They may be people that we've known in the future, because all time exists now. And they are here to help us. And they are with us at every moment. So you are never alone. So one of the secrets is you are never alone. You've just been trained to only perceive of a certain frequency band. But the more you begin to connect with this aspect of you is the more that you will start to feel that support and that love. So understand that your spirit guides are always with you. And they will always give you that kind of information. They will always give you whatever you're intending for. But the key to getting it is to be open to receiving it. And the last thing I kind of want to end with in this video is to just have more fun. This reality is a simulation. There may be your natural state of being is high vibrational love, joy, and peace. We come here, we forget who we are. Yes, there's the lower 3 chakras that we must integrate, that we must become balanced in, and that's one of the purposes of life. But this life is meant to be fun. Most realities you go to, you may not be eating food the way that we eat food here, because it may not be necessary. You may not be able to experience some of the pleasures we experience in this life. The key is to not become identified with it and too overindulgent, but the key is to enjoy it, to have fun with life. The more you allow yourself to have fun, the more you raise your vibration, and the easier things happen easier. The more you perceive of those television frequencies of what you actually want, the realities that you want. So know that these 3 secrets are secrets you can integrate in your own life. It is very, very empowering knowing that you go beyond this 3D physical avatar body. You are an eternal spiritual being dreaming that you're human. You never actually really leave spirit. You're in spirit right now dreaming that you're human. And when you go to bed every night, you wake up to these higher states of consciousness. You just don't remember it because it's not relevant to remember it. But it's becoming more relevant because more people are becoming aware of it. So know that you can integrate these, and by doing so, it will change your life in a powerful way. So something else I have is a free meditation that will help you to raise your vibration. You listen to that for 21 days. I think it'll radically change your life. It's at the top of the description box below. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram, so if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, you can follow me there. I post twice a day there as well. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little notification gear so you can see the daily vids that I do. Other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.